Chapter 5. New Questions and a Mysterious Condition. He was in the hospital for many days. Schizophrenia, the doctors had told him, was a condition where people might hear voices or see things that are not real. Sometimes they might believe things that are not true. He remembered the doctors explaining how schizophrenia can make people confused about what is real and what is not. The doctors were thinking hard about his case. They said his schizophrenia was not normal. He had a very clear and long story in his mind. This was strange for schizophrenia. He stayed in a small room with a window. He could see the city and the cars outside. Nurses came to see him often. They were nice but looked curious. The doctors talked to him a lot. They asked him many questions about his life and his family. They wrote everything down. One day, Dr. Harris, a nice doctor, came to talk to him. She said, "We want to help you more. Your story is very special. We need to do more tests." He said yes to the tests. He was a little scared but wanted to know more about his condition. They did many tests on him. He had brain scans and blood tests. He also talked to psychologists. During this time, he read about schizophrenia in the hospital library. He wanted to understand his condition better. In the evening, he sat near the window. He thought about his wife and children, the family he believed he had. He felt sad but knew he had to let go. After some weeks, Dr. Harris came with the test results. She said, "Your tests look mostly okay, but we found something in your brain scan. We are not sure what it is. We need to do more tests." He felt worried but also wanted to know what was wrong. Dr. Harris told him they would see a special doctor soon. He felt many things. He was scared but also hopeful. Maybe they would find the reason for his story. He looked out of the window. The city lights were starting to shine. He knew he had more to learn about himself and his health. His journey was just starting. Chapter 6. A Surprising Discovery. The doctors did more tests on him. They did an MRI, magnetic resonance imaging, and a PET, positron emission tomography scan. These tests were to look inside his brain. After the tests, Dr. Harris came to see him with another doctor. They looked serious. Dr. Harris said, "We have found something important in your brain scans. You have a brain tumor." He was shocked. He did not know what to say. The new doctor explained, "Your tumor is between two parts of your brain. These parts are the occipital lobe and the temporal lobe. This is very important for understanding your condition." Dr. Harris said, "The occipital lobe is the part of your brain that helps you see things. A tumor in this area can make you see things that are not there. This is called visual hallucinations." The other doctor added, "The temporal lobe is important for hearing and emotions. A tumor here can make you hear voices or sounds that are not real. This is called auditory hallucinations." They both looked at him kindly. Dr. Harris said, "We think this tumor is the reason for your hallucinations. It is not just schizophrenia." He felt many things. He was scared about the tumor, but he was also relieved to know why he had those thoughts and visions. Dr. Harris said, "We need to talk about treatment. There are different ways to treat a brain tumor. We will find the best way for you." He asked, "Can you remove the tumor?" The doctors looked at each other. The new doctor said, "We need to do more tests to see if we can do surgery. We will tell you more soon." He felt worried about the surgery, but he also felt hope. Maybe the doctors could help him. He spent the next days thinking about everything. He remembered his imagined life with his family. He knew now it was not real, but he felt sad to lose this part of his life. He also thought about the future. He knew it would be hard, but he wanted to get better. He wanted to live a real life, even if it was different from his imagined life. He looked out of his window again. The city was still busy, but now he felt more ready to face what was coming. He knew he had a long journey ahead, but he was not alone. The doctors were there to help him, and he was ready to fight. Chapter 7. Waiting for Answers. A few days later, the doctors came to his room. They had more information for him. Dr. Harris was there with another doctor. They looked serious. Dr. Harris said, "We want to do a biopsy. This means we take a small piece of the tumor from your brain. Then we look at it under a microscope. This will help us know what kind of tumor it is." The other doctor explained, "There are different types of brain tumors. Some, like certain gliomas, spread into the brain and are hard to remove completely. We need to know the type of your tumor to decide if we can do surgery." They told him they did not want to scare him, but they needed to tell him everything. They talked about the risks of a biopsy. There were some, but they said it was important to do. He felt worried but knew it was needed. He said, "Okay, I agree to the biopsy." Dr. Harris said, "We can only say if the tumor can be removed after we see the biopsy results." They did the biopsy. It was a strange feeling. He was awake but did not feel much. The doctors were very careful. After the biopsy, he had to wait. He thought a lot about what could happen. He felt many things. He was scared about the surgery, but he also wanted to get better. He thought about his life. He remembered his imagined family. He felt sad but also knew it was not real. He wanted to live a real life, even if it was different. Every day he looked out of his window. The city was busy. People were walking. Cars were moving. He felt like he was waiting for a new part of his life to start. A week later, the doctors came back. They had the results of the biopsy. Dr. Harris and the other doctor looked at each other. They had the answer about his tumor. He felt his heart beat fast. He was ready to hear what they would say, but he was also very nervous. What if the tumor could not be removed? What would happen then? Dr. Harris started to speak. But just then, the chapter ends. We have to wait to find out what she says. The story is not finished yet. There is more to learn in the next chapter. Thanks for watching.